Today we're going to take a look at zigzag repair brackets. Now if you take a look at our chair here, we have a video on this on how to install conventional spring clips and zigzag springs. This is how it's normally done before you upholster it. Alright, but what if you had gone ahead and upholstered it, and that at some point in its lifetime one of the springs broke or detached itself from the clips? Well, you can only get to these spring clips from the top, so that's a problem. So in other words, if it were like this, it's upholstered now with fabric, there's no way to get to those clips. You can't get to the top of this to do it. Here's another example. Here's an old ottoman. Alright, you can see the zigzag springs below. Where are the clips? They're up here. There's no way to get a hammer in there to hammer them down to repair that. But there is a solution, and the solution is a zigzag repair bracket. Now, let me grab one here real quick. A zigzag repair bracket allows you to make a repair from the bottom. So if you were on the bottom of a piece, the first thing you would have to do, of course, you'd have to take your black cambric off, the dust cover, which is usually here. It's not here today. You can see some remnants of it. You'll need to take that off. Take it off very carefully, because you may be able to reuse it when you're done. But once you're down in here, you can use this, which is a repair bracket, to fix your springs. The way it works is that it sets this way, and it's bolted to the wall of your underside, like that. Alright, and I'm going to demonstrate how you would install a repair bracket. So this enables you to put a new spring in here from the bottom without having to tear your upholstery apart. To do a zigzag repair is, of course, you'll need the zigzag spring. I recommend going ahead and getting a zigzag spring that's slightly larger than you need. And then, after the fact, take a bolt cutters and cut it down to the correct size. Better to have a little more than you need than not enough, and then you have to buy another one. You're also going to need 4 screws. I would recommend that you get the longest screw that you can that doesn't go all the way through the wood, but provides a firm base. You'll need 2 brackets, which come with 2 pins, the repair brackets, and of course you'll probably need a bolt cutters. Now if you take a look at our spring, zigzag spring online, if you go down to the bottom, there is a picture of this instruction kit, instructions right here, and you can take a look at that. But what I'm going to do is to show you how it's actually done. We are going to go ahead and we're going to pretend that we need to put another zigzag spring across here. Okay? And we're going to use the zigzag bracket to do that. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take, and Leslie will edit some of this out, I'm going to go ahead and take my zigzag bracket and place it so that it's more or less even with the top of this edge on the other side of my ottoman. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw some circles here and here, because we're going to go ahead and drill a pilot hole there. Okay? Then we'll go directly across to this side and do the same thing. I'll set it even there, and we'll mark a couple pilot holes. Okay? Now, of course, we're going to be using 2 zigzag brackets, one on this side, one on that side, and then we're going to install the zigzag springs in between. 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and get my screwdriver. Right there. So of course you'll need 4 screws. These really aren't long enough. I would get I would get one. Now look at these. See, these are very short. It looks like we could probably get away. I would make your screws as long as you can, so that, but that they won't go through the front, of course. So this is only a 1/2 inch screw. I think I'm going to go back and get a 1 inch screw. So I'll be right back. Here we go. There we go. Then we're going to go install the same thing on the opposite side. Should I turn this around for you? Okay. We'll turn this around. And we'll take a screw, and we're just going to install the top screw right there. Oops. Okay, we'll make sure that's straight. There we go. Okay, now we have our 2 brackets installed. You can see here and here with 1 screw on each one. It's the screw closest to the loop. Alright, now we're going to install our zigzag spring. So it'll take a little bit of time to figure out how much zigzag spring you want in order to give the right kind of bow to it. So you go ahead and put the zigzag in one end. Okay, actually let me go to the other side. So you go ahead and install the zigzag into one of the brackets. You just slide it in there like that, and then you stretch it to the other side, like so. Now I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to need to cut it so that it's the right length. So you might just get a little piece of chalk to help you out here a little bit. So be careful, make sure you got this side in. And it's looking to me like a reasonable amount of stretch would be to right here. So I'm going to take make a little mark with my chalk, and then I'm going to cut right at that spot. Now we can take this back out if we want, if we can. There we go. Alright. And there's my little chalk mark. So I'm going to take my wire cutters, bolt cutters, and go where that chalk mark is. And we'll cut it. There it is. Alright, so that should be the right amount. We'll test it again and make sure. If we need to, we can cut off some more. So there it's installed into the one bracket. Now we're going to bring it over to the other bracket. Slide it in. And see, that looks about right. Now the brackets also come with a pin. So now we're going to install. So the pin right here, and here's another one. Sometimes they're a little crooked. But the pin goes through this little hole right here. And its purpose is to keep the zigzag spring from coming back out. So, sometimes it's a little trickier than you might think. Alright, so there, let's see. Okay, that one is now installed through the end there. So then you take your other screw right there, and you put the screw through the eye of the pin and then into the back part of the hole right there, the pilot hole that we've already set up. So you see there, I'm screwing that in. The pin is right there, and it goes down through that hole. Now we've got 2 screws going through the zigzag repair bracket. I'm going to come back to the other side and do the same thing. So there's the pin. We're going to take the screw and put it through the eye of the pin again, and then into the hole like that. I'll get my screwdriver. Again, you want to make sure you drill a pilot hole, because if you don't, you take the risk that you are going to split the wood. Okay. There we go. So now we have a zigzag spring repair bracket installed on this piece. So if you had a broken spring, now this is good and tight. Of course, you'd probably want to tie it to your other springs. When you're done putting in the spring, you'll go ahead and take your black cambric and go ahead and put that back on, and then you've got a piece that's now firm again, but without having to unupholster your whole piece. So that's how you install a zigzag spring bracket. I'm Bernie Ivan from Farms Interiors.